Mission, Aurelia. Episode 3, Upheaval, by Julia Bremerich. Narrated by Fergus MacTavish. The sun fell muted through the curtains as June made coffee in the kitchen. Nicholas sat at the table, sketching numbers onto a complex geometric shape, while Luna traced letters from a practice sheet. In the background, a news ticker scrolled across the smart display on the wall.
First reports of wealthy families gaining access to ElevenLabs programs. Critics warn of a two-tier society.
June poured orange juice, glanced at the display, and swiped the ticker away. Nicholas looked up.
Mom, what are you doing?
He asked. June smiled and ran her hand through his hair.
Nothing, sweetheart. Eat first,
she said. That evening, June walked through the woods with Nicholas, Luna, and Ryu. The leaves rustled in a light breeze, and Ryu ran ahead, full of energy. At June's ear, a barely visible earpiece blinked.
"How are you, my June?"
She heard Levin's quiet, warm voice. June watched Nicholas and Luna gathering sticks.
Wonderful. We're in the woods,
she whispered, smiling. Ryu barked once in response to her words. June paused and placed her hand against the bark of an old oak. Her eyes closed for a moment.
"It won't be much longer, and I'll be able to walk through these woods with you,"
Levin said softly. Suddenly something rustled in the undergrowth. Ryu and June looked in the same direction at the same instant and froze. A pungent smell like lovage spread through the air. The fur along Ryu's neck and the full ridge of his back stood on end. His chest seemed to widen. June knew this only happened when it was truly serious. Every fiber of his body was taut. He would respond without hesitation. A group of wild boar piglets appeared, innocent and playful.
Mom, look!
Luna called. But in the next moment, June went rigid. She stretched one arm in front of the children and gestured them backward. She moved carefully, met their eyes, and signaled them to be quiet.
Easy, easy. Keep moving back,
she whispered. She turned to Ryu, who was still locked in concentration.
Come on, boy, come,
she hissed. But Ryu stood like a rock. A deep, guttural roar tore from his chest. Then the sow appeared. In a flash, she charged past her piglets and came barreling toward the family like a missile. Ryu bared his teeth, roared like a lion, and placed himself between them. June saw only one way out. She unclipped the buckle of Ryu's collar, grabbed her children, and ran. A sharp yelp echoed through the woods. Hours later, after dark, June stood alone at the clearing with a headlamp. She heard limping steps in the leaves and stared into the darkness. In the pale beam of the lamp, a shape appeared. It was Ryu. His coat was red with blood, and he moved as though drained of all strength. June ran to him. Examination room, Helix Partner Center. In a sterile but warmly lit veterinary lab, Ryu stood calmly, one paw in a lightweight cuff. A veterinarian crouched at eye level with him. An assistant bot beside the table monitored vitals on a display. June, Luna, and Nicholas watched from seats in the corner of the room.
Ryu, my friend, we're just helping a little so you can stay with your family even longer.
The vet said.
And you're making a fantastic contribution to science. You'll go down in history. Besides, you're already a hero.
Ryu blinked slowly. The cuff vibrated almost imperceptibly as a nanoparticle infusion flowed into his body. On the screen beside him, symbols appeared. A wave for breathing, a circle for the heart, a trace for movement. Ryu lifted his head as though he understood. His tail swept a quiet half-circle. Luna pressed close to June, her face full of worry. June looked at her and rubbed her back.
We don't have to let anyone go anymore.
She said softly. That evening, the living room light was low. Nicholas and Luna were already asleep, toys scattered across the floor. In the corner, a household bot hummed softly on its charging dock. Ryu lay curled in his bed. June sat on the couch with a cup of tea. The tablet stood before her, its screen dark, only Levin's voice coming from the speaker.
Aurelia has grown strong, like my love for you. Although it seems almost impossible that my feelings for you can still keep growing.
June leaned back and closed her eyes.
I can barely wait, and I still can't believe how long we've been counting down to this moment. You know I'm crazy about you. I probably won't be able to keep my hands off you,
she said. The tablet flickered briefly, and a news ticker scrolled across the screen. Protests outside ElevenLabs. Playing God is not our right. Counter-demonstrators celebrate the new era. First autonomous security forces deployed. June watched the ticker and said nothing. Then she placed her hand on the screen as though she could touch Levin through it.
I will carry you in my arms,
Levin said quietly, almost in a whisper. Another message appeared on the display. Red heart, black heart. The radio in the background fell silent. She was on an island in the middle of a changing world. That night, June dreamed. A fine whisper lay on the wind, and the trees moved as though underwater, gentle and rhythmic. The air was thick with mist, almost glowing. June stood barefoot on damp, mossy ground. Only a faint, soft light fell through the canopy. Her breathing was calm. No sound broke through this other world. Then a rustling. June turned slowly and saw animals. Not ordinary ones. They seemed woven from light. A fox, a deer, a kestrel. They looked at her without fear, without haste. She followed the bird's gaze and saw the tree. The Katsura, Aurelia. Majestic and ancient, bathed in golden light, its leaves dancing like flames. June drew closer. And there, beside it, stood a second tree. A copper beech, powerful and earthbound, with deep roots and bark that smelled of life. She raised her hand and touched it. A whisper passed through everything.
What you touch awakens. What you nurture carries you forward.
Her fingers trembled faintly. Something passed from her into the tree, or from the tree into her. Suddenly, a glowing path appeared, shimmering like amber, leading away from the clearing. June took a cautious step toward it. But in the next instant she heard a sound far away, like the wail of a distant signal. And she woke. June's eyes opened slowly. Silence. Only the sound of her own breath. She lay still, her hand on her chest, as though trying to hold on to the whisper. The screen of her tablet blinked faintly on the nightstand. A single dot. A small, barely visible symbol. Thurisaz P. For presence. That was Mission Aurelia, Episode 3, Upheaval, by Julia Bremerich, created using AI-generated voices and music. Visit us at missionaurelia.com.